Guys, we've been waiting this for a long time. Finally, Tico Talks February is here. We are going to talk about the biggest update since the game started. I heard a lot of positive comments from my guildies. I haven't watched the video myself. So practically, we are going to take a look at what Tico has to say. We will comment, and we expect some big and positive changes for the game in this upcoming period.
What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Tico Talks Throne and Liberty.
Hey,
I'm
Tico.
Globalization Design Manager at Amazon Games for Throne and Liberty. The Wilds of Talandre,
Everybody who plays the game knows this
arrives
guy.
on March 6th, and your excitement for it has been incredible. Let's dive into everything that's coming. On March 6th, you'll have access to a huge new territory called Talandre, which doubles the size of the current map. It comes complete with a new adventure and exploration codex, a narrative arc to follow, a unique new solo dungeon experience with 2 bosses and 3 of our most challenging co-op dungeons to date.
So 2 new dungeon bosses and 3 co-op
level 55
dungeons.
cap, start working on your epic tier 2 gear set, and grow your fishing and cooking skills to level 25.
Okay, cooking and
Also be
fishing
able
to
begin your
25,
journey
that's nice.
with our new weapon mastery system. Then, 1 week later, on March 13th,
A lot of people
we'll
already
release
know
2
about
more
weapon
3-star
mastery.
dungeons, 2 additional bosses for the solo dungeon, and introduce Nebula Island.
Wait,
We'll
so
release 2 more 3-star dungeons,
on March
2
13th,
additional bosses
3-star
for the solo
dungeons.
dungeon,
Okay.
and introduce Nebula Island, along with the new artifact system for another form of power progression. We believe this approach to releasing content will help players enjoy their journey with a little bit less pressure during those opening weeks. After that, on March 27th, we're introducing Trait Resonance with adjustments for more direct player control, epic grade runes,
Trait
and the
resonance
second
is
season of
nice, epic
Dimensional
grade
Trials and
runes is
Ranked Arena.
nice.
So focus on gearing up those first 3 weeks to be ready for that fierce leaderboard climb. The Wilds of Talandre release delivers over 6 months of content packed into our first expansion. I also want to confirm that a fresh set of milestones will arrive with Talandre, and we'll share those details before release so that you can plan your journey. Let's talk Mega Alliances. On March 6th, Field Boss encounters are being restructured with 3 portal options for instance boss fights. At their best, alliances give players access to something Throne and Liberty does better than any other MMO: intense, epic-scale PvP, where strategy and coordination amongst hundreds of players reigns supreme. But at their worst, they can lead to content gatekeeping and, perhaps most importantly, a lack of meaningful competition. Before going further,
That happens most of the time,
our
right?
goal is not to remove all access to large-scale epic battles. However, we do recognize that some changes are needed for the overall health of the game and our servers. So, Field Boss encounters are being restructured with 3 portal options: Peace, Faction, and Guild. The Peace portal leads to an instanced PvE fight, keeping pre-formed parties together. The Faction portal creates instanced PvP, VE battles where players will be randomly matched onto 2 teams while still keeping pre-formed parties together. So this is an ideal option for smaller groups wanting PvP action. Both of these modes match players across all servers within a single region, and both have a 96 player limit per instance. The Guild portal will match guilds for 1v1 battles. Our matchmaking system pairs guilds based on performance data and number of players. We expect matching quality to improve.
Okay, so one thing I will say about this, knowing how bad single player arena matchmaking tool is, I also feel like this guild versus guild matchmaking tool is going to cause some miserable experiences, especially at the start. Like, it will match, something like Disaster or Sin or Oblivion or similar alliances, guilds, versus some like 3rd or 4th tier guilds which are gonna get wiped in like 15 to 20 seconds. And I bet you that will happen a lot of the time. So usually, especially at the start, it's extremely hard to gather data on how good the guild performs and to match it versus a, let's say, opposing enemy guild which is on equivalent level. This is something that an AI tool cannot do well. Like AI tool has problems matching basic people in arena, you know. Like I'm playing arena versus three of the best players in the world, who have like a best DPS, best healer, best mage in the game, and on my team it's me and two unknown DPSs. Like three of us are DPS, tank and two DPS, like, and we lose a game like this. You think that the guild matchmaking tool will work correctly? It will have a lot of problems. So I'm happy that they're making this change, but it's going to be miserable experience for some of the guilds. They're gonna get matched with a guild that is like 2 or 3 times stronger, and I'll bet you that will happen a lot of the time. But again, it's a positive change.
Over time as we gather more data. Guilds must join with 36 to 48 players to participate. And we chose these numbers carefully because we believe requiring only 36 to 48 players should help ease some of the burden many guilds deal with when keeping players online for competitive PvP reasons.
That's
For arc
true.
bosses, we're offering the same peace and faction options, but will maintain their current open world presence for guild battles. This will preserve a worthy area for alliances to battle in that epic scale combat many of you love. We'll now also spawn 2 different arc bosses simultaneously to increase competitive opportunities. Shifting over to gear acquisition.
Wait, 2 arc bosses will spawn simultaneously. I'm not sure if I like this. I mean, if you are at one place fighting, you will never be at the other place. So that will like simply the arc boss that has higher prio and better loot. Everybody will be fighting over it, and then there will be like 2 3 guilds which know they can't win the battle fighting for the other arc boss, and this is for me kind of a lose-lose situation for everybody. But again, you know, it might be a positive change. We're gonna see.
And accessibility, we're making changes to improve player autonomy through weekly missions and token consolidation. We've heard from players that you want more control over which content to play to progress your characters. While we believe some content requirements are necessary to maintaining the core game loop, we agree there hasn't been enough flexibility or accessibility as we'd like. Here's what we're doing to address this starting in the Talandre release. First, we're consolidating our various gear tokens. Abyss coins and dimensional soul shards will be consolidated into just 2 tokens, one for tier 1 gear and one for tier 2 gear. These will have specific names, but for now, I'll just refer to them as tier 1 tokens and tier 2 tokens. At release, your existing currencies will be converted to tier 1 tokens. Moving forward, co-op dungeons and Abyss dungeon contracts will reward either tier 1 or tier 2 tokens based on the content you're completing. We're also diversifying where you can acquire these tokens. You'll now be able to get them from the arena shop and the weekly mission menu. The weekly mission system has received an overhaul, and this is a key step towards more player autonomy. The new system will offer over 15 different missions across PvE, PvP, and lifestyle content, each rewarding weekly points that count toward your milestone rewards, while you'll earn the new tier 2 tokens, amongst other rewards. The best part is that we've structured it so that there are more weekly points available than are needed to earn all the rewards. So you should have more flexibility to focus on doing the content you enjoy most. Over time, we'll plan
This
to
is
offer
nice.
even more missions.
Weekly
and further
missions were
broaden
kind
the
of
range
locking you to
available
do
objectives.
sometimes
The next
something
thing
that
to
you
improve
really
gear
didn't
accessibility
want to
is
do.
our field boss changes we just discussed. As you may have noticed, there will be more instances of bosses to fight over, which will increase loot accessibility and improve the auction house economy. This should be particularly beneficial for arc boss weapons, because while we want those to remain premium and special, we agree they haven't been as accessible as we'd like, and there is room for further distribution without removing their prestige. Finally, one more area to help with gear is a new system that allows you to synchronize one piece of gear's level to another's. Simply put, we want to give our players more freedom to experiment with different builds, something we consider a major strength of Throne and Liberty. So here's how it works. Once you've leveled a piece of gear to max level, that's plus 12 for tier 2 gear, you can place it into the new system as an anchor. Players can then unlock up to 2 slots per gear type to place other gear of the same type. For example, chest to chest. Any gear placed in these slots will immediately match the anchor's plus 12 level while slotted.
Okay, this is
Unlocking
nice.
slots will have a one-time cost, but from there, you can freely swap gear forever after that. We think this will be a great long-term tool for players to feel more comfortable trying alternate weapons or testing new builds without having to sacrifice their existing gear through the current transfer.
This is where I think New World kinda did it better, because in New World it was so easy to swap the gear and skill set and weapons and everything. And even though Throne and Liberty on paper like gives you a lot of freedom, right? You still had so many problems. You had to level the secondary set. You had to level up the weapons. You had to have the special books to transfer your skills. Leveling the mastery of a weapon also takes a lot more time. You know, in New World, you go somewhere, you grind 4 or 5 hours, you have max level, that's it. In Throne and Liberty, it's not nearly as easy to level a mastery on a single weapon. So you were kind of locked into maybe 2 or 3 weapons if you want to play at, let's say, competitive level and min-max. And that's my problem with Throne and Liberty. I find this as a positive change. This will allow you to have 2 pieces for every gear slot that you can change, right? Which gives you a lot more variety, meaning you can play a lot more different sets, skills, etc. Again, they need to do also something regarding the level of the abilities themselves. So let's see if they did something about it.
System. Let's take a breather from systems and address cheating. Specifically, we're aware of the growing concerns regarding auto-blocking in PvP. And let me be clear, playing the game this way clearly violates our code of conduct, and we will issue disciplinary action against these players. We're committed to maintaining a fair playing field, and we appreciate your help in reporting suspicious behavior and discouraging these practices amongst your friends and teammates. Let's get into combat. After multiple rounds of
When it comes to cheating, like, I don't really want to cope that much in open world PvP, at least on my server. I haven't noticed anything too serious. I noticed a few of guys using like a bot, like a standard bot, you know, stands in place, goes around and kills zombies and stuff like that. I reported it multiple times. I only have question marks regarding few people that I play against in arena. Most of the time those are spinners, and they're like, it seems they're always perfect dodging. So is it like some sort of a script, or are they just that good at the game? You know, I can't say for 100% that these people are cheating, but it is kind of frustrating and feels like, you know, there is some form of practically perfect dodge, you know. Like, if somebody dodges my combos, etc., 15 times in a row, even when I'm trying to not make it obvious, it seems like they have a script. So it's hard to say. But definitely some people are using exploits and cheats in the game, so something that they are working on, and again, a
focus
very
testing,
good thing
we're
for the
thrilled
game,
with
right?
the results. Here are the primary finalized changes that are coming. Player movement speed will no longer be automatically reduced in combat.
Okay.
We've increased base melee attack ranges. Several skills have been updated for improved fluidity. Tab targeting has been improved to better consider camera direction to give a more intuitive
Targeting
response.
was one of the biggest problems in
Click
the game,
targeting has
practically.
also been further refined for accuracy and precision.
Wait,
And
let's see.
we're also bringing a new set.
Player movement speed will no longer be automatically reduced in combat. I mean, for me as a melee, doesn't matter that much. This is a very good change for casters and bows, I guess. Increased base melee attack ranges. Okay, this one is nice. Several skills have been approved, such precision dash and throw smoke screen. Precision dash, since most of the people don't play great sword, one of the worst and buggiest abilities in the game. Like, it's disgusting. Imagine me dashing towards a guy, and there's a pebble on the ground, and I get stuck. There is any type of like a terrain difference, like you're going down the slope or up the slope, usually your precision dash is going to bug, you know. Like, what usually happens is I dash once, and by dashing second time to the player gets blinded or rooted, but I never reach them with the body. That's the problem. Like, there are so many bugs with the precision dash. Practically every second or third one is not going to work properly. It's a miserable experience. And it's one of your most important tools when you are playing a greatsword with any other weapon. So I hope, you know, they fix this at some point, definitely. Tab targeting is better improved to better consider camera direction. I mean, this is nice. You don't want to tab target a guy 20 meters behind you. You know, the tab targeting was a very miserable experience so far. You know, there's like three people in front of you that you want to focus, right? You cannot click in the heat of the combat as you are using your abilities. You top target once, twice, all of a sudden it targets a mage in Narnia who is behind a pillar. And I'm like, what is happening here? Like, this game definitely had so far one of the worst targeting systems. Like, that was the one of the biggest problems about the game. And I'm happy to see they're actually doing something about it, you know. Click targeting has been further refined for accuracy and precision. Yeah, click targeting, because tab targeting was so frustrating for many players. Many players started to use click targeting. So practically click targeting is when you actually see a model of a guy on your screen and you try to click on them. Again, terrible experience in this game. Why? Because literally it happened to me that there's a person like a few meters away from me, and I'm clicking on them like crazy. Imagine this lighter. This is the body. This is my cursor. I'm clicking, clicking, clicking. It doesn't acquire the target. So in the middle of the battle, I am like casting abilities and trying to click on this person, and literally nothing is happening. Now, what they found out in Korea, this is even funnier, is that you know that every person above their head usually has like a guild crest, or if you have them before, if you had them on feud, they would have like a dot above their head. So what players learned is, this is how bad the targeting system is, by the way, guys. What people learned is that it is better and more precise for you to click on that guild crest or dot above their head to acquire them as a target than to click on their body. Now imagine how bad the targeting system is when that happens. Like, you are not clicking on a body of a player, but you are clicking on an icon above them, and it is more precise than clicking on the body. I mean, click targeting, terrible, terrible. So now it has been refined for accuracy and precision, and we're also bringing a new setting that will allow players to ignore friendly targets when clicking. Um, Good for any DPS class. I would say not as good as for a healer. Hopefully they will revert this for a healer, because for a healer main thing is to find a friendly target. Although practically when I think about it, every normal healer has their friendly target key binded, right? Like, usually back in the day I had it bound to F1 to 5, right? Depending on the group member. You just acquire target heal. So actually it's even good for healers. Unless it's somebody not from your group, you know, then it can be, let's say, somewhat bad. Character inertia has been reduced. Uh Inertia, guys, what does this even mean? Google Translate, inertia. Do they mean like how fast you stop from a full movement? Did I understand that word correctly? Whatever, inertia. Inertia has been reduced. Good thing. Whatever that means. Maximum zoom has been increased by 33%. I mean, if they mean maximum zoom by zooming on my character, I'd never want to zoom on my character. I always want to zoom out as much as possible to have a vision of the battlefield. So I hope by this they mean I can zoom further from my character. That is always good. By early April, what is expected is improved target visualization. Okay. Target of target display. I mean, target of target we already have, but it does some very weird shit. Like, for instance, this is my health bar. Here is my target, and here is my target of a target. And sometimes, for me at least, I don't know how it works for you guys, it's literally randomly switching my target and target of a target. And then I have target of a target here and, you know, my personal target on the right side further away. It's just weird how it works. Monster type indicators on nameplates. Okay, nice change,
that will allow
I guess.
players to ignore friendly targets when clicking. Character inertia has been reduced, and the maximum zoom has been increased by 33%. While not available at launch, by early April, we will also introduce improved target visualization, target of target display, and monster type indicators on nameplates. Shifting to dynamic events, we've made updates to increase rewards and better tailor activity point distribution. We've heard your two main concerns. First, that dynamic events don't feel rewarding enough for the time investment needed to properly participate. And second, that our PvP players are experiencing activity grind fatigue due to how dynamic events contribute to activity points. To address these issues, starting March 6th,
yeah, let's be honest, there were some bad experiences, especially for the PvP players. Like, for instance, our guild is in a spot where some other guild is pushing us for activity points, right? And instead of doing like normal events, PvP, everything that a player wants to do, we have to go and run carts, like, you know, Seed Festival. And people do it like practically on every cooldown. Imagine waiting 2 or 3 hours every day to do the same thing. Run like a headless chicken after 20 carts, and then stand there like this for 20 minutes and pray that something will happen, just so you get like the maximum amount of points, which is, again, at least for me, some people actually like this. I'm not even joking. There are people who like this content. Personally,
we're increasing
not
the
a fan.
rewards for the first 15 dynamic events you do per week, ensuring players get more value when they choose to engage with this content. And since activity points are primarily a tool to help with high-performing PvP guilds, we've made 2 changes to help with both fun and fatigue. We're capping activity points at 15 events per week. And then we're adjusting the amount of activity points earned so that they prioritize guild events, followed by Dominion, then Peace, and finally co-op modes.
Nice.
We believe this new structure will give PvP players...
Nice. Thank God. Finally. So what is the highest?
So that they prioritize guild events.
Okay, so highest points, you can do 15 of them per week, which is personally for me, like I play a lot, 15 is nothing. 15 events I can actually do in 2 to 3 days, even if I don't want to do them, right? Guild events are first. Usually guild events are like, this will actually force more people into PvP, which is something that I actually like. Usually what happens, guys, is that on some server you have a few guilds dominating, right? And then no other guild wants to go to a guild event. And practically guild event is organized PvP, and there is nobody there to fight, right? And essentially most of the people actually go to the Dominion event. So with this change, a lot more people will show up to guild events, and there will be a lot more fun and coordinated events compared to Dominion, where you just get a random caller, 3 teams, and fight others, right? So I hope this is a very good change, honestly.
Followed by Dominion,
Dominion is second, very good.
then Peace, and finally
Then peace, yeah, nobody cares about peace.
co-op modes.
And co-op.
We believe this new structure will give PvP players more freedom.
This is one of the
participate in
changes
modes
that I
naturally
like the
align with their
most, to be
preferred
honest.
content, while still maintaining meaningful progression. Now,
I mean, when was the last time you were in a guild event, right? Like, I went to the guild events, and 1 out of 10 of them has some action. Because again, 2-3 guilds are dominating, no other guild wants to show up. They simply either go to peace or to dominion because they know they will get stomped, right? That was the problem. With this, a lot more people will show up because it will give maximal points, right?
let's talk raid frames. As Godspeed mentioned in last week's Eye on Elysium, raid frames are coming, and I'm happy to share they will arrive on March 13th.
Raid frames.
Raid frames will be available during guild raids, field bosses, conquest battles, arc bosses, and castle sieges, which should help all of our players, but especially shot callers and healers.
Okay, I mean, it will help shot callers a little bit to see the overall health of a raid. That is nice. But again, you see the situation on the field anyway as a shot caller, you know, if you're having a good push, bad push, or if you're getting attacked. But this is a very, very good change for healers. Healers so far can only efficiently heal their own party, right? With raid frames, they will be able to acquire targets on low HP or focus targets faster. And this is something that should, at the end of the day, improve quality of life of a healer a lot. So again, very, very good, a very good and very positive change for a healer. And this will mean that a lot more people will survive for longer in raid battles, which will make them more interesting, right?
Looking further ahead to early
Very
April,
positive
we're
change.
completely overhauling rune management. We understand the frustration the current rune management system causes. Our new approach fully removes inventory management needed for runes. Instead, runes will be tracked in a simplified UI where you can apply each rune type and stat combination to as many items as you want. New runes will automatically level or dissolve, and I can't wait to share more details on this topic next month, so look forward to that. We're happy to inform all of our console players that in early Q2, we are bringing the ability to edit your HUD with controller. Now, I want to address a question.
Wait, console players are not able to like edit their HUD. So no matter what they do, like their HP is in the top left corner, like a true noob. Come on. No joke. We had some players on PC who literally had like their HP in the top left corner and then their target in the top right corner. And I personally honestly can't imagine playing like that. Like your abilities are downstairs, and then on the 3rd floor is your HP, and then when you look at the moon on the right side, you see your target. Like, dude, I want everything to be optimized. Like, personally, for me, at the bottom of my screen are abilities. A little bit above is my HP, and a little bit to the right is my target and target of a target. And everything is in, let's say, this big of a space, so I can actually have overview of everything while I'm playing. But again, you know, some people, they just like to throw their HP and their target in Narnia, so whatever. Unfortunate for console players that they cannot set this.
In our community.
Kind of
How are
funny.
you
though.
and returning players supposed to catch up if you didn't do a Hyperboost server? Our approach is that catch-up mechanics should be core game features, not a separate server that isolates new and returning players from the general population. We want them to be part of our whole community, experiencing the game alongside everyone else. Let's talk about how we're making this work. First, let's consider gear progression. Because Talandre is releasing at the same time as Tier 2 gear, this creates a natural reset point for all players, and we genuinely believe this is one of the best times for new and returning players to jump back into the game and start fresh alongside everyone else. However, we recognize that having a full set of Tier 1 gear could still feel like a big advantage. and that's why we're introducing Tier 2 Rare Gear, or Tier 2 Blue Gear, which will be stronger than most Tier 1 Purples. This provides a natural bridge for players who don't have their full Tier 1 sets available. We've also carefully balanced the Adventure Codex rewards.
So listen, I understand this, that they want to add some catch-up mechanics for new and returning players. But I mean, those players quit the game. They didn't play it. I don't care if Joy has bad gear. Joy didn't play the game for 2 months. Right? He was playing Valorant. He was playing Call of Duty. I don't give a fuck personally. I grinded my set for hours and hours. I grinded runes for hours and hours. I understand Joy is getting back to the game, but he should not get a random blue item that drops that is better than my purple item that I worked for hours, months, and days, right? But I mean, whatever. I will not complain just because at the end of the day, those casual and returning players are a very important part of the community, right? If they were not, it would be just a few sweaty hard try players playing the game, you know, which is not what everybody wants, right?
So that any player who completes the full Adventure Codex will earn nearly a complete set of Tier 2 gear with a mix of blues and purples. Beyond gear progression, we're also introducing exclusive buffs and daily login rewards specifically for new and returning players to help them catch up.
Okay.
We believe this comprehensive approach will help players join our community and get up to speed without feeling like they're permanently behind or isolated on a separate server. To end things, I just want to say thank you all again for your feedback and support. I can't wait for you to get your hands on this expansion. It is packed with so much great content and system improvements. I think you're really, truly going to enjoy it. Please keep giving us your feedback. We love having open communication with our community and are committed to maintaining that. All right, and now for our community question. If you could expand our cosmetic offerings in just one way, what would it be?
Tico,
Please like and subscribe.
I don't give a...
These videos.
You know what about cosmetics,
comment,
really?
So let me know down below what
I care about
Thanks
the mechanical
so
parts of the game. Don't care about new costume that you released for New Year or whatever, really. Okay, long story short, let's recap this. Very positive changes that alliances are not going to impact everything, that you will have different options like PvE, PvP, or like guild instance for every boss. That is very, very good thing. Same thing goes for arc boss, right? I don't like 2 arc bosses at the same time. I think that is simply just bad. Regarding the changes, the one that I like the most is improvement to targeting. Obviously, one of the most miserable experiences in the game. And finally, I practically like how they're going to at least phase the content, right? So that we will have first tier 3 dungeons and then 3 to 4 weeks until we get trait resonance and runes of higher level. So people can first work on their gear and then switch to that, let's say, final touch. So all in all, probably one of the best expansions so far when it comes to the game. I mean, one of the best upcoming things regarding future patches. And yeah, I'm very happy about this, and I hope a lot of players will return with tier 2. And guys, again, merges are starting from tomorrow. We expect a whole lot of action. So again, you will find me on Twitch and YouTube, Taste My Chill. And thank you for your time. Wish you all the best. Bye-bye.